Good evening and thank you for tuning into BrandPlus TV. It's always a delight knowing that you've taken your time and are keeping us company. My name is Ndiro Ganga, ready to bring you up to speed with all the top stories making headlines. And as you know, we're all about business. Here's a glance of those stories. Kenya Society of Professional Cooperatives launch cooperatives' effort to professionalize in a bid to realize full potential. Third Talent Agenda Series East Africa Conference. HR practitioners meet to discuss changing dynamics. Presidential Digital and Program Progress Dissemination. 3 years on, what has the program achieved? Buruburu Vocational Training Center commissioned, bringing everyone to the fold, building capacity for the abled differently. Thank you for staying with us. Now on to our top story. The Cabinet Secretary, Trade and Cooperatives, Honorable Peter Munye, today attended the launch of the Kenya Society of Professional Cooperatives that was held at the Mwalimu National Circle building in Nairobi. The event brought together officials from different cooperatives as the sector seeks to professionalize. Our reporter Elsa Atieno has the details.
A cooperative is primarily organized to provide the necessary common needs of its members that improve and uplift their living conditions within the context of universally accepted cooperative principles of membership, democratic administration, equitable contribution, saving disposal, education and cooperation. During the launch of the umbrella body for professional cooperators, where the CS was the chief guest, he said that the main reason for forming the body was to address critical gaps that existed in the sector as a result of lack of an organized and coordinated think tank of professional practitioners in matter of cooperative development.
The chief guest is to address critical gaps that exist in the sector on service delivery as a result of lack of an organized and coordinated think tank of professional practitioners in matters of cooperative development.
The CES further added that the cooperative identity must be secured as noted under the International Cooperative Alliance Vision 2020 and the strategy thereof.
The cooperative identity must be secured as envisaged under the International Cooperative Alliance Vision 2020 and the strategy thereof.
The cooperative movement in Kenya may be traced to the period immediately after the country's independence. The movement is supposed to play an important role in employment generation, food, security, wealth creation, and hence participate in poverty alienation. To this regard, the CS stated that the cooperative movement has a huge responsibility in supporting the growth and development of the people through the provision of savings and credit for investment.
The cooperative movement has a huge responsibility in supporting the growth and development of our people. This is through provision of savings and credit for investments and housing. They have also played and will continue to play a critical role in food security, health, education, and enterprise development.
According to the Ministry of Cooperative Development and Marketing, the cooperative movement in Kenya has become a success story, mainly in the areas of disbursement of loans. However, it continues to miss opportunity in the use of modern technology. There is need to refocus and reassess its capacity, not just in mobilizing financial resources, but also in managing them well for faster economic growth. For BrandPlus TV Business News, I am Elsa Atieno.
So that is done.
The Talent Agenda Series initiative in East Africa, which is the leading human capital platform, today opened its third annual Talent Agenda Series in Nairobi. The forum seeks to discuss ways to unlock regional opportunities for people, organizations, and industries, as well as addressing the changing dynamics in the human resource management. Our reporter Daisy Wambo attended the event and filed the following report.
At the top level, yes, we've been placing them from here.
The two-day conference, which is set to attract over 200 stakeholders, is focused on learning the emerging human capital trends in East Africa, how they relate to the African and the global market. It also seeks to provide a networking opportunity for key business leaders, HR trendsetters, while learning how to attract, keep, motivate and inspire the workforce to help them reach their potential. Sarah Rowe, the director at Global Career Company Initiative, reiterated that the conference was meant to address the changing dynamics in human resource management and how Kenyan employers can leverage on them to improve performance.
The human resource agenda that for today is covering a really wide range of topics. So we're looking at gender and diversity, which is always an issue here in the African audience and globally. We're also covering the part of higher education in terms of shaping talent for the future. So I think a lot of the senior leaders in the room are saying, it's not enough just to have a good degree now. They want people who've got tangible business skills, who've got entrepreneurial skills, and who can really come from university or from further education and really bring something to the table from day one.
The Kenya Private Sector Alliance was represented at the conference by the PPD manager Teresa Barasa, who spoke on how businesses can enhance human development to increase productivity in order to make businesses in the country competitive and sustainable, thus increasing the chances of attaining economic growth.
There is the strong, formidable partnerships between the private sector, government. The academia can be brought on board so that we have the triple helix model and many other partners, stakeholders, to ensure that we have the right research and development in place so that we build the competencies and skills amongst us that can be able to help government realize the goals that they've set out, the aspirations of the Vision 2030, the Big Four agenda, without which we will move at a slower pace than really what we have the potential of doing when we all come together.
She further urged the government to hasten the implementation of human resource policies that have been drafted but are yet to see the light of day.
We have the plans in our minds, we have the plans in our heads, but we lack the plans for the people. So what we eventually have is non-existing plans, unimplemented plans, and essentially just plans that are made for political expediency. So as we engage with the government through various engagement forums, we seek that they have policy reforms that are able to ensure that our businesses remain competitive, that the environment is conducive, we have the right people in place, that there is that collaboration with the academia, with the government, with the private sector, with the civil society, to have the right people to take us forward as a nation. Because without that, everything will just remain a shopping list.
The conference hopes to go a long way in contributing to personal learning and development of human resource practitioners in the East Africa region, with the aim of improving effectiveness in the management of human resources. For BrandPlus TV Business News, I'm Daisy Wambua.
Kenya Vision 2030 identified ICT as a key enabler to the attainment of its goals and aspirations. It is through this realization that the Ministry of Information, Communication Technology formulated the Presidential Digital Talent Program, which was formally launched by His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta on February 10, 2015. 3 years on, the program held its Progress Dissemination Conference today. Our reporter Karari John attended the conference and filed the following story.
The Presidential Digital Talent Program allies DigiTalent, an initiative of the ICT Authority, which is in its third cohort. Since launch, received 100 interns in its first cohort and 400 interns in the second and third. The Principal Secretary, State Department Post-Training and Skill Development, Ministry of Education, Alfred K. Cheriot, pointed out the huge impact of ICT to the economy.
One is because we have so many. In fact, ICT actually cuts across all sectors of the economy. There's hardly anything you can do nowadays without ICT. And closing that gap will be actually improving the economy. We expect to have many more people who are skilled, who can actually contribute to the economy in ICT.
Acting CEO, ICT Authority, John Sergon, reiterated that the 12-month internship program develops the ICT talent pool in Kenya through the collaboration of the public and private sector.
When they are in the program, they work in government and they also work in private sector. And I must say that during this period so far, they have helped a lot to increase the capacity in government ICT.
The DigiTalent program increases the youth employability by imparting them with market-ready skills. The acting CEO went ahead to add the innovative project has been able to empower youth with much-needed skills and experience.
They get the skills necessary. First of all, in government, they get experience. In the private sector, they go through certification programs. So by the time they get out of the program, they are much more eligible, employable, so to speak. But more importantly, we also have innovations within the program. So some of them go into to become very interesting innovators in what they do.
Of your achievement for such programs not only provide training ground for potential members of the workforce, but an affordable labor pool for freshly qualified individuals. The Director of Partnership, Innovation and Capacity ICT Authority, Eunice Karaoke, further emphasized the importance of ICT in the achievement of Vision 2030, citing that human capacity in the sector must be built.
When you look at the Vision 2030, it aspires to leverage the brain trust that we have in this country, the human capital, to be the catalyst in the sense that combination of that brain trust and ICT gives us the best chance to really achieve Vision 2030 through improved productivity if we employ ICT across our production value chain.
Information, communication and technology holds a huge economic potential in Kenya's transformation, with efforts like the Presidential DigiTalent Program by the ICT Authority, which affords opportunities and equip the youth with tools to play a role in the country's technological development, is a sure step in the right direction. Reporting for BrandPlus TV, I am Karari John Wambugu.
The National Fund for the Disabled Kenya today commissioned a vocational training center for children with disabilities at the Buruburu Baptist Church and School. The facility, opened by the fund's chairperson, Christina Kenyatta Pratt, is meant to empower the disabled and harness their economic power. Take a look. According to Kenyatta Pratt, the National Fund for the Disabled continues to advocate for equality of the disabled in the country. She further said that this is the only way to empower this demographic and ensure they are key contributors towards economic growth in the country.
The National Fund for the Disabled of Kenya continues to advocate for a special focus on skills, knowledge, and expertise in our institutions of learning that will allow persons with disabilities to participate and adapt to changing global trends. As a fund, we are quite confident that this vocational center will be of great benefit to our learners with disabilities, as they will be trained in various skills to enable them be self-reliant once they exit from this institution.
The 2.5 million vocational training center is one of the 7 that the fund is commissioning in Nairobi County with the intention of expanding across the country. According to the headmaster, Buruburu Baptist School, Michael Kaume, the project will go a long way in supporting the learners and the learning activities in the school.
The project that we have commissioned today, that Madam Christina Kenyatta Brandt has commissioned today, will be of great impact to this school. We will be able to help the children with disability. We will be able to give them training that they deserve so that in their future they can live an independent life.
He added, while funding development projects in special schools continue to play an integral role in empowering the able differently in the society, a lot more needs to be done to ensure that those with physical disability are brought into the economic ecosystem.
If we are able to come up maybe with shops where these children can be selling their items, let's say the school here become the industry, and then we have an outlet at maybe Jericho Market, Buruburu Shopping Center, and even in this supermarket around here like Naivas, Tuskys, Uchumi, if we can be having an outlet, a place where these things can be marketed, they can be sold, I think they can give back to these children. Because if they make them and then they lock them in the cupboard, for sure, it cannot assist them at all, because it will rot, it will be of no use. People here will be buying with that throwaway price. But if we have a place, if we have a center where they can be taking these things and then someone is marketing for them, and then this money is brought back to them, at least to develop them, to make them better people, then it can really assist.
The National Fund for the Disabled has so far funded a total of 98 projects countrywide, with 67 of these having been commissioned, and by the end of this financial year, 25 more will be commissioned. Such efforts go a long way in ensuring that all human capital in the country supports the economic development agenda. Now let's shift gears and take a look at the day's market performances, and here is a summary. That is how the markets performed today, but for more in-depth analysis, tune in tomorrow at 8 a.m. for my next big bet with Rachel Nderitu and Karanja Daniel as they carry out an in-depth analysis of the financial markets and other investment opportunities available for you. Well, that's all the time we had tonight on the Business News Desk. On behalf of everyone that made it a success, thank you for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.